Spiderman Pinball FX Review and Guide. Hello, I am the many-talented Mr. Jefferson, and today I'm here to talk about probably the most popular Marvel property of all time. And that is no exaggeration, because Spider-Man isn't just the star of 3 separate movie franchises and a couple of different multiverses. He's also been around my whole life, and he shaped the MCU as we know it today. Back when I was young, one of my favorite cartoons to watch was Spider-Man, and later Spider-Man and His Amazing Friends. And later on, when I was a teen, the absolutely fantastic Spider-Man 90s cartoon came out. I can't help it if they named the 2 shows the exact same thing. Okay, the original is the Here Comes the Spider-Man cartoon, because that's how the theme song went, and it was some old-timey, folksy, offbeat, sing-song kind of lyrics, and it was really catchy. The 90s cartoon theme was a little different. It started out with a really cool electric guitar and drum combination. It didn't really have, lyrics per se. It was more of a robot screeching the words, Spider-Man, Spider-Man, radioactive Spider-Man. And then the guitarist gives us a little taste of what he can do with a short, sweet solo, after which the robot starts just yelling urgently, Spider blood, radioactive spider blood, right before the electric guitar slams into overdrive for the last couple of seconds before the whole song just suddenly halts like some kind of a fucking roller coaster. And that left you pumped for the show to start. This 90s show developed plot lines that would become the foundation for the MCU as we know it, showing the origins of Blade and a new power set for him that the comics would go on to adopt, which rolled into his origin story when the Blade movie came out. Spider-Man also crossed over with Nick Fury, the X-Men, the Hulk, Punisher, Doctor Strange, Iron Man, Captain America, Fantastic Four, Doctor Doom, Dormammu, the Red Skull, the Beyonder, and this may have been the first introduction of Marvel's multiverse. And I think it might be the first time that Stan Lee made a cameo in a show or movie based on one of his characters, and not as like a janitor or a mailman. It's supposed to be the actual Stan Lee because Spider-Man is in our world at the time. Pretty much everything that was in that 90s cartoon made up the blueprints for all of those interconnected movies and TV shows we can watch today, and the Pinball FX table most resembles this 90s cartoon version of Spider-Man. The table has really great music, the shot flow is excellent, with lots of combo potential and some really cool shots. I have really liked this table since the first time I played it, but I didn't have any plans on writing a review or guide, because I didn't know the table that particularly well, and I am currently working on finishing the final edit for Medieval Madness Reviewing Guide, but some of my friends discovered the table and realized how much fun it was. Of course, this led to a bout of one-upsmanship, with the same person both bragging that he beat my score and then in the next breath complaining that I am too good for him to compete with now. So, of course, I immediately went and beat his score anyway. Since I had just gotten a new high score, I decided to go ahead and record the next game in case I figured out how the wizard mode worked, and while I was recording that game, I got a weird message telling me I had beat Cuddly Dragon, but I had already done that the previous night. And as it turns out, right before I started recording, Cuddly had started his own game and beat my score. And I realized that's probably what had happened because I saw a Discord ping, which I figured was him bragging that he had beat my score again. So I finished my current game and informed him that his statement was no longer accurate because I crushed him again. This newfound interest in the table prompted me to make it my weekly tournament table, and the day I posted the tournament, I managed to hit the upgraded wizard mode. And I don't know quite why I had balls for days, but I recorded the whole game, so I will be able to figure out just how I got all of those extra balls, and I suspect it might be tied to the Web Swinging Awards, and I'm going to figure out by the time we're done with this guide. This is also not the only way to extend your game, because two of the bosses enhance your superpowers and grant you situational ball saves, and the lane protection and ball saves are really easy to activate, so a savvy player can greatly extend their game with some strategic shooting on this fast-paced and fun table. I'm going to start at the flippers because this is where you're going to get your ball save and lane protection, because those are controlled by the whip rollovers. Lighting those rollovers once gets you a kickback, light it again for the other kickback, and if you can keep the kickbacks, the rollovers will give you a spider reflex ball save. A lot of the shots you're going to want to make lead back to the rollovers, so managing the rollovers is a powerful tool, and the outlanes are very nudge friendly, which means you won't need to use those kickbacks nearly as often as on most tables. I'm trying to figure out how to describe the rest of this table, and I guess the best thing to do is an around the world tour, because there are a ton of shots to make and a variety of reasons you will want to make them. But first I'm going to mention that the main goal of the table is to defeat the 4 bosses so you can start the wizard mode of the table, which is on a timer and can be upgraded for a even better wizard mode. So I'm going to tour the table and afterwards discuss the boss fights and the table strategies. I'm probably going to repeat a lot of information in these 2 segments, but that's actually a really good thing because this is kind of a complex layout with a relatively simple rule set. So it's not only important to know where the shots are, it's also important to know how to light them up and why you would want to, and the hidden benefits of some of these shots, because this is a table with layers and layers, which appropriately reflects the table's theme, because Peter Parker is always being pulled in too many different directions at the same time. Alright, so weirdly enough, the first thing we're going to see on the left side of the table is the middle flipper. This table has 5 flippers total, 2 below, 1 middle left, and 2 in the upper playfield, and they are all very useful. As I stated previously, this is a complex layout, and this middle flipper is very situational because there are many times you won't want to use it, but if nothing else is going on, you can use it to swing across the table to go home and kiss Mary Jane, or go off to work to face off against the first boss on the table, and that's J. Jonah Jameson, who is not a villain, but he does hate Spider-Man, and he's like a total dick to everyone he meets, to the point that the man he admires the most in the world, Captain America, once told him that JJ's mustache reminded him of another man he didn't like very much. Whoa. JJ will demand Parker get a picture within 15 seconds or he's fired, and this is a very simple shot to the right orbit, just on a very tight timer with the shot being made at speed. But the ball is very nicely set up for the shot, so it's really not that bad. Spider-Man's other demanding boss, Nick Fury, will sometimes take over yelling at Spider-Man during the hurry-up. The Daily Bugle loop is along the top of the webbing, and Mary Jane is down along the bottom of the web trail. And that shot will lead to the upper playfield, which I will discuss a little bit later when we get there. The lane above the middle flipper is the left orbit, and this is an insanely powerful shot. This is one of the places Mysterio can appear. The orbits light up letters of Spidey for repeated shots, and each letter of Spidey has its own associated award, and you can light the letters faster if you figure out the timing of the reverse shot, because the left orbit will loop back around to the left flipper, and fast reflexes can send the ball shooting back around the right side of the orbit to the middle flipper again. There is also a chance you can send the ball up the Goblin ramp, which will set you up for another shot on the left orbit to continue the chain of racking up Spidey awards, the last of which is an extra ball.
That was close.
The letters in Spidey stand for Spectacular Score, Incredible Jumps, Deluxe Web Slingers, Enhanced Strength, and Yeah! Which is what you will shoot out when you get an extra ball. To the right of the left orbit is the Mysterio ramp leading to the upper playfield, where there are a lot of shots present. You can enter this playfield two different ways to make it easier to hit the shots you're attempting to make. The ramp brings the ball into the playfield on the left, and the middle left flipper shot to Mary Jane and the home sinkhole will eject the captured ball on the right side of the upper playfield. It is possible to hit any shot on this playfield from either entrance, but it is substantially easier to make some of the shots from a specific entrance. Entering from the left, you have access to two shots. The obvious one being the Mysterio captured ball target, and the one you might not see is the Habitrail ramp, which is above it, which is an extremely important shot I will come back around to later. The captured ball will send Mysterio out of hiding and requires a follow-up shot to whatever lane he is hovering over. Hitting the captured ball will set you up for a combo shot on the other two shots on the upper playfield, both of which are also extremely important. I will start with the scoop in the middle because hitting that enough times will start a fight with Dr. Octopus. It's the easiest boss on the table, and it's a straight-up slugfest, which only really requires repeated shots up the middle of the lower playfield to defeat him. And he's also the slowest boss, as he stalks menacingly forward multiple times before he finally declares victory. This isn't the only shot that will hit him, however, because both of the habit trails on the upper playfield will also count as an attack on Dr. Octopus, but that's not even their main function because it is far easier just to loop the lower shot. This is also a place Mysterio can show up. All three of these shots are also the web-swinging ramps, and collecting all three web-swinging ramps will give a web-swinging award, which includes one extra ball per ball, and will reset on the next ball. There is still one final shot on the upper playfield because you can let the ball intentionally drain, which leads you back to the middle left flipper, which allows for a hit of Mary Jane. And this shot can be looped by taking a hit of Mary Jane and then holding it until the ball goes back down, and then you can take another hit of Mary Jane to score higher, and the third hit will count as a hit of the Goblin Dank ramp and will divert the ball to the lower flipper habit trail while the score reward gets as high as it can. Alrighty, that was the upper playfield. Now to move on to the middle ramp, which connects to a habit trail leading back to the left flipper, and it's used to fight Dr. Octopus, and it's one of three web-swinging ramps, but Otherwise, it's not super important unless you just happen to be fighting the Green Goblin, and then it's very, very important. To the right of that is the skill shot hole, flanked by a trio of jet bumpers, which will raise your multiplier. The skill shot hole will reward an ever-increasing reward, which can become very, very valuable the longer the game goes. In the front of the upper playfield, there are 4 posts with targets, one of which will be lit and will cycle to the next post after a second or two. Hitting any 4 lit posts will start a random mode, unless a mode is in play. Below the bumpers, there are 2 shots we've already discussed off the middle left flipper to the Daily Bugle or home for some Mary Jane. So we'll slide on just a little lower on the table. To the right and below the bumpers is the Green Goblin ramp, which leads back to the right flipper. Hit this several times to start up the Goblin boss fight, which will start a multi-ball, which requires a shot to either the Goblin ramp or the middle ramp with the Goblin bomb. The location will be lit up in orange. This is also a location Mysterio can show up. If any of the balls leave play during the Goblin multi-ball, the mode will end and the main ball will be returned to the launcher in most cases, but not always, because the Green Goblin is usually kind of unpredictable. To the right of the Goblin ramp is the right orbit, which is used for JJ hurry-ups and for Spidey awards. And to the right of that is the Lunatic Award sinkhole, which grants a random award and kicks back to the left flipper. This is also the worst place Mysterio can show up because it is a real pain to hit this on purpose. So that is every shot on the table, but I still haven't mentioned how to fight Mysterio because that's a more complicated fight. But I have described how to locate him to collect the shots you need to start that fight. After finding and hitting Mysterio 3 times, the 4th captive ball hit will start the Mysterio fight, which will black out the table and reverse your flippers. But it will also enable ball save for the duration of the fight. This is a blackout mode, which means it will not indicate the lanes you need to hit, so you'll need to locate them yourself, and it's always the Goblin ramp, the upper playfield middle sinkhole, and the upper playfield right upper habit trail. This might seem like a real pain in the ass to complete, but it's actually brilliant positioning. And the reason for that will be discussed during the strategy segment coming up very shortly, because I've run out of things to show you on this playfield. As you can see, every shot has multiple functions, and getting the ball where you want it means knowing where the shots will lead. And it's a really fun, fast-paced table with great flow and stacking modes, and a reward structure built to take advantage of the shots that are part of those modes. Every shot flows into the next shot in a complex and interweaving way, making each individual strand stronger while also weaving a web across the playfield. And the rule set takes advantage of the fact that this is a home video game and not a table meant for real-world play. And that is because it allows you to extend the game nearly indefinitely. Yeah, that's right. This table actually never has to end if you make the right shots, and the right shots are the shots you're already going to want to make anyway. There are 2 keys for extending your game on this table indefinitely, and that is a combination of the web swinging and Spidey awards. Web swinging will award an extra ball once per ball, and then it's locked out until the next ball, but it will be available again during that extra ball that you just earned, meaning you can keep this game going indefinitely from just this one strategy. But that's not the only extra ball on the table, and the other one is from the Spidey Awards, which will take a lot of orbit shots to complete, but there are other ways to protect your ball in the meantime, like the rollovers, which will grant kickback and ball save, which is the most direct way to accomplish ball save, but it is not the only way. The Green Goblin Multiball has a situational ball save, and that situation is that while there is still a pumpkin bomb in play, you can't drain the ball. It even prevents multi-drain by resetting the ball to the launcher, so it's basically impossible to drain during Green Goblin Multiball unless you are very, very, very talented. But that's not the only mode with a situational ball save, because Mysterio has full-on ball protection for the entire duration of his mode, and the effects of reversed flippers can be easily countered in one of two ways. The first way, if you play on keyboard like I do, I find this to be the optimal strategy because you just use both flippers at the same time, so you don't have to think about it at all. None of the flippers will block any of the shots that you actually want to make, and hitting both flippers at the same time completely negates this roadblock. This might not be quite as easy to do with a controller, but there is actually a much better solution for controller users because you can just flip the controller over in your hands. So you're holding it upside down with the opposite triggers now on the correct side of your fingertips so that you can play normally. This is really cool because it reminds me of the Psycho Mantis fight from Metal Gear Solid, where the solution to combating his mental powers was to physically unplug and change the controller to the second input so you could control your character again. So once you have completed the JJ, Dr. Octopus, Green Goblin, and Mysterio boss fights, you can activate a timed wizard mode, which does not involve fighting the Spider-Man villain, the Wizard, for better or for worse. He's kind of a B-list villain. During the wizard mode, you have 30 seconds to lock the ball in the same ball lock that activated the mode, and once you lock 3 balls, the wizard mode transforms into Clone Chaos, which is a 4-ball multi-ball prize tour referencing the many times Spider-Man has had to deal with clones, with the other 3 balls probably representing Ben Parker, known as the Scarlet Spider, Kane, the unsuccessful first Spider-Man clone, and Spider-Side, who is actually a clone of the Scarlet Spider, so he's a clone of Spider-Man? Since this is a prize tour, the only goal right now is to collect jackpots until you are down to 1 ball and the table resets, allowing you to finish all of the modes again and start the wizard mode all over, which is pretty standard for most wizard modes, but also really nifty. And that's because this is where things get really interesting. Because I mentioned the modes stack, and one of the random awards is all 3 bosses at the same time. So what this means is you have your choice of bosses to fight to progress to the wizard mode. It also means you're at maximum ball protection, because the Goblin Multiball cannot end due to a ball drain because of the extra ball protection provided by Mysterio. So you are completely safe during this mode to pursue any shot you want to make. And when you have all 3 bosses up, you can actually beat all 3 bosses if you understand the shots that they each require. The Goblin is on the shortest timer, and therefore should be first priority, and the Goblin ramp is one of 3 shots required to beat Mysterio as well. And the other potential shot that you need to beat the Goblin will hit Dr. Octopus, which will keep him at bay. Mysterio requires 2 shots on the top of the table, and one of those shots will also hit Dr. Octopus as well. And that should probably be the first priority to stop him from creeping down the table at you. And that shot will send the ball down to the right flipper, so you can send it right back up to the top again and hit the captured ball target for a combo shot into the upper sinkhole for the 3rd and final hit on Mysterio, which will send the ball back down to the left flipper to set up shots on the lower middle ramp. which you can loop over and over again until Dr. Octopus is defeated, and that's impressive pathing, because every shot leads into the next attack on an enemy, and some attacks count towards multiple enemies and will light up 2 of the 3 web swinging targets as well, making it very easy to advance that goal. The other shots on the table are also linked in an impressive way because they are all about Peter Parker's social life and the constant struggle to balance his superhero activities with the possibly more difficult demands of his everyday life. He has to maintain a job, make time for his girlfriend, and his aunt as well. And to show how difficult this balance is, all of the personal life shots lead into web swinging shots or boss ramps, but none of the boss ramps lead back to the personal life shots. So you can go to work, complete the JJ Hurry Up, which leads back to the upper flipper, where you can web swing home or go back to work. Home will lead you to the upper playfield, where you can let the ball drain so you can go back to work again. But up top on the table, there are many different ways to get to the villain shots, and none of these shots will set you up to go home or to complete the last shot of web swinging, which allows you to go to Aunt May's party. And those shots are significantly more important than the villain shots, because web swinging and the orbit shots are how you collect the extra balls on this table. And while the web swinging extra ball seems to be locked to 1 award per ball, which is already really powerful, the Spidey extra ball does not appear to get locked out, which means you can earn it multiple times on the same ball. The Spidey letters will reset if you drain. So while this is a very powerful tool, it needs to be used in conjunction with the boss fights and rollovers to keep your ball in the game long enough to finish collecting the letters to get that extra ball. Which is, again, theme appropriate because being Spider-Man interrupts Peter Parker's personal life constantly, and it's the real main struggle of the character. There are no real tricks to this table, but understanding the reward structure, how the boss fights are stacked, and how to fight the bosses, and when you should take time to make those shots that will complete the web swinging and Spidey awards, will take what was a fun table and skyrocket your scoring potential. Because Spider-Man's greatest superpower is not his Spidey sense or his super strength or his lightning reflexes. It's his intelligence and his sense of duty, which makes him willing to sacrifice his personal life to protect the very same loved ones he is disappointing by not being there, and protecting his identity so his enemies don't target the people who are most important to him, even if it means they will never know the lengths that he has gone to protect them. And that's what makes this friendly neighborhood table spectacular, astonishing, amazing, sensational, and even among Marvel tables, it seems that the superior Spider-Man might be the ultimate Spider-Man experience. So did I manage to work in all of the titles? I am the many-talented Mr. Jefferson, and this guide was inspired by my amazing friends who have all gravitated towards this particular table and are currently trying their damnedest to beat the high score I got before I took a long, hard look at the table and shot the game you are about to see, which is part of the current tournament I am hosting, and this is exactly why I host those tournaments, to tempt myself to play different tables and to learn a different table every single week. And because of that, the other players I am competing against are about to shoot the best game of their lives. I want to thank my viewers, my subscribers, and all of you who have sponsored my channel with donations and games so I could complete my collection of Pinball FX tables. Until I see you next time, toodles. Some additional tips for this table: the Spidey letters are way more important than just the extra ball at the very end. Every letter does something when it's lit. The P activates ball save. The E holds the bonus multiplier, which is also really nice. But the eye. The eye is one of the best scoring opportunities on the table because it's a very simple, repeatable loop for 1,000,000 points a shot. And you can relight Spidey on the same ball. So it's kind of important that you pay attention to what letter you're on because it's easy to miss the incredible jumps and skip it accidentally to land on the D. What's the D stand for? These nuts! I'm not above that joke. It's a shitty bumper bonus anyway. It's not that important. The bumpers are mostly there to waste your time on this table during boss fights, so they're dumb and I hate them. The Green Goblin hurry up gets faster the more you do it, so it might be beneficial to use the Multiball to do other things around the table to make it easier to repeat the wizard mode because you still only need to defeat each boss one time to activate it again. There is one aspect of Spider-Man's character I really haven't gotten into. I mentioned that his intelligence and his sense of duty are his true superpowers, but that is not to say that Spider-Man isn't one of the most powerful characters in the Marvel Universe. Spider-Man is so durable that if he didn't roll with the punches, the bad guys could easily break their hands when they punched him in the jaw. And he's such a nice guy, he doesn't just let people shatter their arms on his face by just standing there, which is something he could do. In the Superior Spider-Man storyline, Dr. Octopus manages to mind swap with Spider-Man and realizes he never ever actually stood a chance of defeating Spider-Man because Spider-Man was always holding back. And this is also evidenced by the repeated lopsided fights against the Sinister Six. And then it's also reaffirmed by that one time Spider-Man fought the X-Men during Secret Wars and just completely dismantled the entire team at the same time in seconds. And that team roster consisted of Cyclops, Wolverine, Colossus, Nightcrawler, Storm, Rogue, and Professor Xavier. And they ambushed Spider-Man. Then he turned around and easily took them out within seconds, and then just decided to make a quick exit while the X-Men were trying to figure out what exactly just the hell happened. And that's why Peter Parker's biggest struggle isn't against the forces of evil, which he's more than equipped to deal with. It's the day-to-day stuff that we all face that actually causes the worst problems in his life, and it's why he's such a great character. I bet Peter Parker is exactly the kind of guy who would play a pinball game against his friends, get the wizard multi-ball mode, and score just high enough to win. And then let the game end on purpose so his friends would feel better about losing. And we should all strive to be a little bit more like Peter Parker, who has the power and refrains from abusing it.
Look out! Here comes the Spider-Man! Spider sense tingling. Home sweet home. That was close.
The goblin doesn't like bugs.
Piece of cake.
Imbecile, what hope could you have of capturing me? Impossible.
Ugh! You insolent fool! Stay away from me! I won't forget that insult, wall crawler.
You're going on an all-expenses-paid vacation in the city jail.
You will pay for your arrogance. Imbecile, what hope could you have of capturing me? Impossible.
Everything fuzzy. Must be mind-altering gas. Saved by my trusty webs.
There's no way to tell what's real and what's illusion.
Are you finished? I am in the middle of a very important experiment.
Not going down that easily.
That's it. I will not rest until you've paid for every indignity 1,000-fold!
One less ugly villain in this city. I'm afraid I'll have to report you for flying an unregistered vehicle.
Stay still. This will be quick.
spider sense tingling. It's not like your giant ego to just pack it in and run away, Ock.
Spare me the childish derision, Spider Boy. I have nothing to gain by continuing the battle at this juncture in time. Your feeble bites are insignificant, Spider. I have no time for your games now, insect.
Imbecile, what hope could you have of capturing me?
Ugh, you insolent fool! There, you wanted it. You got it. I won't forget that insult, wall crawler.
You're going on an all-expenses-paid vacation in the city jail.
You will never find me again. You will pay for your arrogance.
That was close. 2 bombs? A few more and you might actually make this interesting, Goblin. Not going down that easily.
You know the old saying, wall crawler? The goblin's always greener.
Next time I'll just ride the bus.
No, it is I who have mastered the art of cheating death, not you. Imbecile, what hope could... you have of capturing me?
Bring me some decent pictures, Parker, or you are fired! Fired, fired, fired!
Does whatever a spider can. Ha! Still got it.
Are you finished? I am in the middle of a very important experiment.
3 of you? What is this, a support group meeting? Saved by my trusty webs. Not going down that easily.
I have no time for your games now, insect. That's it. I will not rest until you've paid for every indignity 1,000-fold! Stay away from me!
Spider sense tingling.
Get lost. I'm in a hurry.
Your time is up, wall crawler. This day belongs to Mysterio.
Your feeble bites are insignificant, Spider.
You will never find me again.
Defeating you is so simple, it's almost embarrassing.
Home sweet home. Oh, great. Clones. Ha! Still got it.
to tell what's real and what's illusion.
2 bombs? A few more, you might actually make this interesting, Goblin.
Ugh, you insolent fool!
Not going down that easily. Saved by my trusty webs.
My powers are greater than yours.
I have no time for your games now, insect. I won't forget that insult, wall crawler.
Two against one? Maybe we could talk this over? One less ugly villain in this city. I'm afraid I'll have to report you for flying an unregistered vehicle.
Stay still. This will be quick.
Spider sense tingling. Ha! Still got it.
Imbecile, what hope could you have of capturing me?
The goblin doesn't like bugs. You know the old saying, wall crawler? The goblin's always greener.
Are you finished? I am in the middle of a very important experiment.
That was close.
You will never find me again.
That's That's it! I will not rest until you've paid for every indignity 1,000-fold!
Still got it. Two bombs? A few more and you might actually make this interesting, Goblin.
Spider-Man, just what I wanted.
Funny, that's the same thing kids say when they get my action figure for their birthday.
Doc! You insolent fool! Your feeble bites are insignificant, Spider. Hurry up, Parker! This isn't some sort of dad-blasted charity! I won't forget that insult, wall crawler! Defeating you is so simple, it's almost embarrassing.
Look out! Here comes the Spider-Man! Home sweet home. Spider sense tingling. Well, that wasn't very spectacular or amazing.
Imbecile, what hope could you have of capturing me?
Ha! Still got it.
Ooh, you will never find me again.
That was close. I'm afraid I'll have to report you for flying an unregistered vehicle.
Get lost! I'm in a hurry! Stay away from me! That's it! I will not rest until you've paid for every indignity 1,000-fold!
One less ugly villain in this city.
There's no way to tell what's real and what's illusion.
Three of you? What is this, a support group meeting?
Well, you wanted it. You got it.
Not going down that easily. Saved by my trusty webs.
You know the old saying, wall crawler? The goblin's always greener.
My powers are greater than yours.
It's not like your giant ego to just pack it in and run away, Ock.
Spare me the childish derision, Spider Boy. I have nothing to gain by continuing the battle at this juncture in time. Ah, you insolent fool!
Piece of cake.
Oh, where did you go? The goblin wants to play. Give me your best shot.
Ooh, you will never find me again. Imbecile, what hope could you have of capturing me?
Spider sense tingling. Doc's broken free from prison again? You really should stop letting him wear those superhumanly powerful arms in his cell.
Your feeble bites are insignificant, Spider.
Stay still. This will be quick.
Imbecile. What hope could you have of capturing me?
I won't forget that insult, wall crawler.
You will never find me again. You will pay for your arrogance. There's no way to tell what's real and what's illusion.
Only thing you're the master of is delusions, pal. Saved by my trusty webs.
Your time is up, wall crawler. This day belongs to Mysterio.
I'm afraid I'll have to report you for flying an unregistered vehicle.
Stay away from me! That's it! I will not rest until you've paid for every indignity 1,000-fold! I have no time for your games now, insect! You insolent fool!
Imbecile. What hope could you have of capturing me?
2 against 1? Maybe we could talk this over? Ha! Still got it. Piece of cake. not going down that easily. Spider sense tingling. Saved by my trusty webs. It's not like your giant ego to just pack it in and run away, Ock.
Spare me the childish derision, Spider Boy. I have nothing to gain by continuing the battle at this juncture in time.
I should not give up.